Chat, we go. It's another match with Nush. We just had Nush versus Frosty. So go back and watch that on the YouTube if you're interested. And now you have Nush versus Motion. Motion, a guy who's been working on his ones game a good amount recently and has a ridiculous engine noise. I have to switch off his perspective. But he's been grinding high in the ones leaderboard. He messaged me, I believe, when he was about top 15 or so, not long ago. And then said he was ready to grind some ones on stream. But I think he's fallen down to the mid-range. Nush, a little bit higher in the 1v1 leaderboard. And looked like an absolute prodigy of a player in his previous round. Motion going to try and show off too, as his reset musty goes into the top right. Another English player in the 1v1 scene. A lot of English 1v1 players have had success in the past. This time using the defender as a way to finish off his shot. Where's your gambling? I'll try and get that going for you guys. You'll have a couple minutes to do it since this match has already started, but it has been fairly even so far as Nush can't score on the goal line. Should be a goal for Motion as he takes the lead. You guys have 1 minute. Quick prediction. What's your prediction, Feer, and what's your prediction, chat? You'll be able to see what chat's prediction is through the channel points. Based on what I saw from Nush in the Frosty match, he was looking very mechanical, but he did have some opportunities that were left open that I think Frosty maybe wasn't taking as much advantage on. You know, a lot of all-in type plays. So if he's able to find the same groove, he might be okay, but you never know what Motion might have in store. I do think I'd still slightly favor Nush. I mean, what we saw from Nush, he was getting ground pinches from the midfield at 100 km/h on target. I mean, if somebody's playing like that, it's hard to predict against them. Motion, though, looking a little mechy himself, as people in chat pointed out. Nush is going to counterattack, though. You see that Motion using that musty, that canceled musty to continue his dribble. I say it a million times. I'll say it again. But that's often used by freestylers, or for a long time it was kind of freestylers who were only using that setup for the dribble. And people who had freestyling backgrounds would use it as well. Joyo being one of those notable ones. Motion seemingly wanted to use those early flicks to carry the ball. Enhance this guy's car. Yeah, I just want to change the engine sound. It sounds like it's squeaky. Like it's got a loose bolt or something. Nush. Not the first touch he wanted. So he's just going to bail off the ball. Get a little boost steal and use every last bit of that boost to get back to the ball. Which makes you wonder whether or not it was worth it. But probably is. He's got Motion on low boost now. Has a huge advantage. Wanted the wave dash demo, I think. Didn't get it. Well, he'll get a demo at the midfield instead. Have an opportunity to reset. What a power slide cut. It's far out from the net, but man, it doesn't get tighter than that as he 180'd on a dime to start his dribble. Just barely made it back to stop Motion's counterattack. Motion, strong touch. Leaves the ball for Nush. And you see already Motion defending a lot closer than Frosty was. Frosty was backing off, allowing Nush to just go to work. Motion's not interested in doing that. He's got close shadows right now. Motion at ceiling heights. Not going to be able to get anything as he pinches on the ground. Him and Nush back and forth. Outside the orange box. Nush, that was a bit of an all-in play. Should get him scored on. Oh my goodness, it didn't. A mistake from Motion. That absolutely should have been a goal, but it doesn't end up working out that way. Now Motion. Another slightly canceled flick. Now to about ceiling height for the resets. Decides not to use it. Never had the opportunity to place top right, it didn't seem. That's where he wanted to go. Nush will pick up the back corner boost. as he chips one to the back wall. His hopes to have an extended attack are quickly snuffed out as Motion will counterattack, able to win the race to that ball. Yo, Boom Shakalaka, thank you for the 25 months of Prime. Much appreciated. Motion, double reset. What a catch! A ridiculous shot from Motion. I didn't expect it, and it seems like Nush did not expect it either. He flipped underneath the ball after the second reset, got himself pushed directly to the ground, and caught and cut the ball in towards the net. Something I have not seen before, and I have seen a lot of 1v1. Here is that freestyler's air dribble into the back corner. Motion low on boost, but has completely controlled this game. Nush, what a flick. 48s to work with for 3 goals, not impossible, as he pinpoints the top left. Nush, oh, he tried to almost bait Motion into taking that shot, but he overplayed it. Had to back off. Wow, that's a really strong counterattack, but it's wide. Motion doesn't get a touch, though, so could still get punished. That needed to go directly in. Couldn't afford for the flick to dance around, especially not go too high and off the backboard. So I do think Nush's chances here in Game 1 are dwindling away. Nush really likes those low flicks where he almost runs into the ground in the process of doing them. Nush turtles, taps the ball away. Motion, one last opportunity if he wants to try and style a double reset. Pogo is definitely styling, but it'll hit the ground, and game number 1 will go to Motion. Nush now the one with a ping disadvantage. Rocking at 104 on this EU server. We maybe could have gotten him a better EU server, but normally the MENA players are able to take the first EU server you get. It is now Nush, you'd have to say, who's on the away server. We've been doing a lot of cross-region show matches, although MENA versus EU has never really been considered one of those. Nush making it seem that way. Rocking 104 ping as he wall dashes his way to the back wall and is almost certainly getting scored on. That final flip is enough to do it. Not the end of the world to try and stay involved in the play, enter the blue box, but you certainly can't flip all the way to the back wall like that. Motion gets the resets, doesn't use it, or uses it for a dash on the ground. Another reset high at ceiling heights. The interception from Nush, the boost steal, and he's forced all the way to the back corner. He's going to take the midfield boost on the way there. I don't think it's going to matter too much. Motion went to his own back corner for his 100, and he's pre-jumped this one. Brought back down to the ground. Nush never let it hit the ground. Went for a bump and did not connect. So Nush having a much tougher time getting past Motion in this 1v1. Motion, what was the plan here as he launched it to the ceiling? Maybe he was hoping for some sort of follow-up play. Nush, air dribble from the back corner, finally has Motion reacting in net, and that is where Nush is best. This is the position that Frosty let him have multiple times, but Motion making him earn it, and he just pre-flips to the left side of the ball to drop it perfectly in the bottom right. Motion seemed like he wanted a cross-field pinch. Not going to happen here as Nush gets another air dribble with an awaiting defender. He's going to go air dribble bump, or maybe even just slightly trying to guide the ball to the opposite side of the net as the defender. But Motion's counterattack is there. It's a mix between 2 shot attempts, and it's not going to work out for Nush. I think an air dribble bump where he doesn't touch the ball and move it off of the line that he's protecting works out. And I think, you know, a full commitment to maybe speeding it to the corners of the net would also work, but the mixture of both gets him scored on. Nush, low 50. Strong first touch, but he doesn't have the kind of boost to get back to it, and needs to be careful. Motion, by all means, should have scored there. You see that camera shake. He is frustrated that he didn't just take his free goal that Nush allowed him, but he will get it either way. Nush has boost advantage big time here in motion. A little bit silly for going for that backflip challenge. And Nush, you know, there's another opportunity that probably should have been a goal. This time it's Nush who misses, and he's been playing from behind. Can't really afford to not connect on these. Motion, smooth catch in the corner. Instead of allowing Nush to get boost and keep a possession, he's able to corral it back into his own half. And it's very likely, I was going to say it's an air dribble bump, but actually he's going to go for a flick. When you have the defender directly in front of you like that, it's often what players go for. Nush couldn't find an angle to challenge, so just tried to pre-jump. Motion places it to the top left. QR Flowy. Look at the 6 months of Tier 1. Appreciate it. Nush, a second goal. Offense has been hard to come by for him against motion. Nush, intentional save off of his post. An attempt to set up a counterattack, even though he didn't get the first. He did get a follow-up, and then used the last bit of his boost to get supersonic and search for a demo. Didn't get it, though. Motion passed to the ceiling. I don't think he got a reset. Now Nush, can he make something happen with the pads down the center of the field? Oh my goodness, Motion, what a save. Nush got a strong flick on target. Motion found a way to keep it out. It's been Motion's defense that has him leading in this series. And Motion will counterattack again. This is where, oh, he didn't score it. He wasn't able to. Nush recognizes that there is no more opportunity to score, so he backs off. He's keeping ball cam on to get a read on Motion on the other side of this ball. This time, the air dribble. He does not fully commit to it. He is lucky that he guided that pinch off target, because that was headed straight towards the net. Motion, a little pogo action to win some fans. No doubt about scoring a pogo on the Feer channel will get you a ton of people backing you. Nush actually canceling that flick and following it up for a 50. Was held to, I think, 2 goals in the previous game. Might do it again. There is the pogo from Motion. Motion, the air dribble, and then turns quickly. I mean, he was not high in the air. Nush wants to go next. I do have the ability to take him to the next game. He'd rather not try and win 3 kickoffs in 23 seconds. So game number 2, gonna go to Motion. Game number 3, Motion rocking what I think is like a robot car engine or something, based on the noise it made when his car spawned in. I do not understand. But maybe it's the new wave. Sounds like a spaceship. Maybe that's what it is. Nush needs to find consistent offense against a defender who has been very clean. I talked about, you know, Nush against Frosty. He was allowed to be a lot more all-in, wasn't punished as often. Motion hasn't let him get away with that, and oh my goodness, everything is just not bouncing his way. It's about as close as you get to scoring that without actually scoring it. Motion, midfield dribble, has a reset, backflip into another reset. Nush will take it as a tee directly across the field to go crossbar down. What's your opinion on the new Rule 1 roster? I think it could be really good. I think that it's silly to not say that, you know, Falcons are going to be the 1 seed at the beginning, but Nupo is on like an insane rise. Khaled and Ahmad have proven success. I mean, you know, Nupo is such a wild card. He was basically the Falcons MVP, it feels like, before he was taken away. So if he's able to match that again, I mean, Nupo was bringing teams to the grand finals completely by himself, basically, when he was playing in their LCS in the past. So now that he's got a couple strong teammates, who knows? Yeah, it does feel like, you know, 2/3 of Rule 1 are on the Falcons, and 2/3 of the Falcons are on Rule 1. So it feels like a weird trade, to be fair. Motion, air dribble bump. And he is on the board in game number 3. Delay kickoff for Motion. Nush might immediately score off it, though. Wow. Motion attempted to do his best to not allow it in, but does get in there. Nush trying to make sure that this stays his possession as Motion chases him down. Cannot seem to get the demo. Nush. Oh, it's finally up. Motion did chase him into allowing him to score. It's really hard. As the person who has to control the ball and evade defenders, it's almost impossible if the person's right behind you the whole way, and eventually that proves to be the case as Motion gets gifted a freebie in front of the net. Nush now in the air, has the resets. Is he going to musty? He is! And he tries to go crossbar down. He's faked that multiple times. But the way Motion has been defending, he doesn't feel like a fake is going to be good enough. And there is that all-in play again that gets counterattacked. Those are the risks. Motion. Ball to air dribble from the side of the field. Nush has it covered. A lot safer attacks made by Motion. Seems like he's more willing to take it to the ground for wave dashes when he feels he needs to. He's going to save this one off the crossbar. Baited Nush in for a second there with the reset. It looked like he was going to drop it early, but able to pop it back out after getting the flip. Returns to this ball just in time, but cannot guide it on target. So a close game that has to go Nush's way. 12 boost. He needs this to be favorable as he pinches midfield. Motion turning on the ball. Nush faking that he's going for it in order to prevent Motion from taking an immediate shot, but then him quickly backflipping because he actually did not want to go make a touch. He'd prefer not to, but he had to do something to discourage Motion from essentially taking his open net. Motion now from the back corner, taking this one to ceiling height to get the reset. Now he's above the ball. Does he want the pinch? We saw Nush score the pinch earlier. Trying to get him right back. Motion going to defend against a ground double. He has sent so many into the crossbar, and that's actually going to be a counterattack too. Nush. He has been on the razor's edge of, you know, almost just dominating in these games if he could finish off these plays. But almost every single time he doesn't. It's turned into a Motion goal the other way. And now it's Nush playing from behind. Nush gonna just take this ball away, not allow Motion to get a touch. Might be the answer to him being able to stay on offense longer, but it's gonna be another possession. He gives over. 100 boost for Nush now. At least he did when he was started his defense. Now he's got 33. A little bit of ball cam to see Nush, or see Motion. I keep getting him mixed up for some reason. Nice little turtle shot for style. But mostly this goal is scored, just reading the challenge. I'm going to watch this finish again. I feel like that's just a risk I would not be taking. I feel like I do that and I'm just going to pop off to some random location, but Nush knows what he's doing. Motion to kickoff win. Nush going to turn on ball. not allow him to get a free setup at the midfield. Motion's been effective with those. Now can Nush stick around or will he fully reset? Seems like he will. This goes all the way to the back corner. Nush, the backflip challenge. He has surprised a couple people now with that backflip challenge. He takes it from so far away. Finally, Motion's not able to get one of these saves. I mean, Motion has just made miracles happen time and time again on the goal line with the same kind of shot like this. He keeps getting on the post and out. Nush, I can almost feel the frustration for him of somehow not being able to score on those. Delayed kickoff from Motion. He's trying to cheese his way back into the game, and Nush will be the one to score. Do you use Notion at work? I don't. I've used Notion a little bit, but I do not. Nush, flick, and he is going to secure this game just about. This is the distance that he forfeited game number 2 at, but Motion, who's had momentum the whole series, maybe a little bit more optimistic on what he could get in the next few moments, but it's actually just going to be another Nush goal. Oh, it is still going to be a Nush goal, but only because Motion is typing that he wants to go next. And we will take him there. Game number 3, going to Nush. Game number 4. Nush and Motion. A lot of times when names are less familiar for people, maybe they haven't seen them in their RLCS or seen them in other places, people often will ask what their ranks are. As I've seen some people doing in chat. Nush and Motion are both top 100 ones players. It's just about the only kind of player that we have on stream nowadays. Sometimes we, have some other special matches. Nush ranked 35 in the world. Motion, I believe, ranked currently somewhere in the 50s in the world, which of course would be supersonic legend for those of you who are maybe not aware of the top 100. Why don't you do the RLCS map rotation in ones or mix the maps up at all? I think that it was, Manfield Night is what is considered the best map by pretty much the whole world. Some people don't think so, but certainly the majority do. And I think it was born of just probably a little bit of laziness. Just put it on a good map and not have to deal with it. And then over time, now it's almost like the ones arena. Like, it has become the place to play. Irrigible bump from Nush gets him a second goal. So it's a little bit of just, it's a lot easier to not have to be constantly remembering to switch and do the rotation. Plus, it's just a good map that now has history. Nush, man, he is in the zone. Motion dropping the This Is Rocket League as he just passes to Nush in the corner. Or I say in the corner, but on the corner where the floor meets the wall. Motion, nice delayed flick. Got a lot of power on that considering he had no boost. But Nush now the one who stands strong defensively. He's trying to swing out to get a pad. Did get away with it. Motion's actually just going to leave. He didn't like this dribble. Didn't have a ton of boost to make something better out of it. Nush, the pre-flip on this touch. Can he make his way back? He does. He wants a counterattack. Oh, I got excited. It was nowhere close. It was far off from a psycho, but that's what Nush was trying to do. He was trying to redirect the bounce off his back wall into Motion's net. He should have a long shot right now as he goes up 4-0. Nush able to grab boost on this kickoff. Motion wants to stick around, but he will eventually have to leave as he decides to wait at the midfield for 100 instead of going back to the corner. Nush met early on his flick. He knows Motion is going to turn and challenge right away because Nush won't have a scoring opportunity immediately. So I think Motion was going to try and use that to his advantage. Nush trying to stay one step ahead. Says as long as I keep making Motion miss, I can eventually score. But man, Motion has been very calm on the goal line. Unwavering, and he's able to stop this air dribble 50. Nush will have a great setup. He actually just immediately took it away. I don't think he was going for that ground shot. He might have wanted the power shot to maybe counteract a pre-jump, but definitely not one that basically rolls its way to the net, which is what he ended up getting. Motion reads the challenge and puts himself on the board in game 4. Took him just about 3 minutes to do so, but he's still within striking range as Nush only put up 4. That's just a 3-goal lead. Nush undercutting Motion to grabbing this boost. Little camera check to see what he's dealing with. He hasn't been able to beat Motion with his flicks, even though they have been very strong and very well placed. You know, sometimes I watch somebody in their flick game and I think, those flicks just won't cut it. You know, you can't be scoring with those, but Nush has definitely put on good enough flicks that by all means against the right defender they'll score, but Motion has been that guy so far. Follow-up though this time goes in favor of Nush, which is an improvement from what we've seen from him earlier, which resulted in almost all of his plays resulted in quick counterattacks for Motion. He's gonna have to try and prevent giving Motion too many gifts. You gift him a freebie like this one. Nush actually seemed to expect the high bounce, but way overshot it. Nush taking this ball to the back wall. Actually slightly surprised he did so. I thought maybe he'd take it back to his own half, where I felt he had a better chance to stay in possession by going towards the net. I feel like the most likely result ended up happening, which was him losing possession without ever getting a scoring chance. But right now, defense has favored him as he takes away Motion's air dribble and seems very likely to be forcing a game 5 if he can keep this up. Wave dash kickoff, uses it to bump Motion. Motion won't have a ton of boost, so Nush decides, I'll play him now while there's not a lot of movement he can make. The one thing Motion can do is he can back off and get a little 50. In fact, he didn't have to quite back off. He just single jumped and pinned it to the ground. Who's winning the Super Bowl? I don't watch the NFL like at all, so I couldn't tell you. Nush. At the start of every dribble, he's keeping ball cam on longer than most people would. And have to assume he's doing that so he can keep an eye on Motion. A great ground double. He has to box Motion out, and he will get a 7th goal. How do they get in these show matches? It's a good question. I think the answer is really to get really good at ones. It is the best way. Get high on the ones leaderboard. Sometimes there's other ways to prove you're very talented and, you know, can hang in a top 100 1v1 lobby. Oh, look at this shot from Nush. Look at this shot from Nush. It's enough to make Motion want to go next. Nush heading away from the net, pre-flips underneath the ball, pops it up to himself, and then is first back to it to boom in a goal. That was a sweet shot from Nush. And it's going to end the game, forcing a game 5 between Nush and Motion. Game at number 5. You guys didn't hear that. Game number 5. A little Nush versus Motion. Motion seemed like he was dominating early on in the series, but Nush has found his stride and immediately puts himself on top in game number 5. These delay kickoffs haven't worked, I don't even know if a single time. Motion has done them a few times now, and Nush has farmed them just like this. He's chipped up and then 50'd over the top of Motion and been able to corral the ball for a goal. It had worked once. Well, I can believe you, but it does seem like it's worked more often for Nush. Motion, can he get the double? He can. Nush waited on the ground. Headed up the side wall, but did this weird low double jump before turning back around and basically challenged Motion to get a double without bringing the ball down, and that's what he did. Nush Low 50. It's going to be a lot of this is Rocket League. I think it must have just been a big motion mistake. Slight delay on Nush's kickoff. Maybe also the way he gets that. Wave dash kickoff for motion. Not enough to get him back. Man, Nush. He's in the zone. You cannot count anybody out. You need a reverse sweep if you wanted to bring this back. He actually forfeited game 2 because he didn't like the way it was going. He was only down 3 at the time. Since then, the series has swung back in his favor. Nush with 18 boost. Will all of a sudden he be able to score with his flicks? That's how you know. Motion just had this net completely covered. He was a brick wall in front of it. Now, cannot save this Nush flick. I mean, I feel like previously he was just jumping out ahead. You know, I think we saw, I can't tell if it was the slow-mo or it was actually him hitting the brakes on the back wall, but he needed to keep some momentum if he wanted to punish. Maybe he's worried about that fake. Nush gonna intercept this one in the corner. Motion. I always combine their names. I don't know why. Motion and Nush. Oh, Nush. Look at this shot. Nush is peaking at the right time. At the end of the show match, he goes for a little pancake against the back wall, but he used his flip. I think he front flipped onto the ball, which got the reset and tapped the ball to the back wall in order to be able to follow it up for the tight angle. That was dirty. Nush cannot get possession as Motion needs to get something going here. In the first minute, down 6-1. Nush going to intercept. He's going to drop the nice one. Nush, man. It's 7-1. It's GG's. It's GG's a minute and 8 seconds in. Nush. He found his stride again. He can't do any wrong. And Motion has had enough. A early forfeit. If you're playing this game in ranked, wait. Let's see if we can get him to Pogo. I typed it fast enough this time. He's got 4 minutes. He's got 4 minutes. We might as well. What do we have in store for us? A little Nush reset Pogo shot. Hey, clean. You know, it's clean. If he wants to do another one, he can, but that's just like... That's just giving us exactly what we wanted. Face him for the rest of the time. I mean, I think at this point, we all just want to see what Nush can do. Pogo reset. I don't know if he has chat open. He was doing a lot of 360 dribbles. That seemed to be one of his preferred plays. He did it a lot more against Frosty. I think he couldn't get away with it against Motion at the beginning of the series. Thanks for hosting the game. Just didn't want me to win. Oh, thanks for hosting. The game just didn't want me to win. RIP. Rest in peace. All right. We will end it. You need 100,000 boost. Or is that 10,000 boost? Let's see. Does he have? Okay, he's saucy. He's saucy with it. He's saucy with it. But we'll end it there. We'll end it there. GG's. Nush. A 7-1 win. A 7-1 win. He scored one in both goals, or a couple in both goals since it ended. But a reverse sweep. And Nush comes out on top.